Recently, the weather doesn't know whether it's going up, down, or sideways. And for a lot of headache and migraine sufferers, they feel like they can predict the weather because their headaches and migraines are going to increase because they are very susceptible to these weather changes. Do you feel like you can predict the weather because of your headaches and migraines? If you are, tell us your stories in regards to the weather changes in your headaches and migraines. We'd love to hear your stories and how the weather does affect your headaches and migraines. But today we're talking about those weather changes that impact you and what you can do to help negate these weather changes in your headaches and migraines. So hi, I'm Dr. Beth, Osteopath here at Melbourne Headache Solutions. As I said before, the weather, particularly over the last week, has gone up, down and sideways. We have had all seasons happening over this last week. We have had really smoky weather, really hot weather, humid weather, we've had cold weather, we've had really dry, windy weather, and really, as I said, it doesn't really know which way it's going. And particularly for headache and migraine sufferers that are susceptible to weather changes, it has been a nightmare. So for people that have been coming into the clinic, they don't really know why their headaches and migraines have been going all over the place, because usually when they're feeling better with the cold and it's been a cold day, they're still feeling terrible. Or the smoke is now past, but they're still feeling terrible. They've got this lingering sensation happening. So why is it that the weather can have such a massive impact on your headaches and migraines? Well, for quite a lot of people, particularly, let's start off with a storm to begin with. So stormy weather, the thunderstorms that we've been having. Now, it's been wonderful in regards to things like the bushfires and for things like our gardens, and just in general, we need a lot of water because we're heading into droughts. But for headache and migraine sufferers, when we go from having a hot environment and a dry environment to then we've got this beautiful storm that's happening. So it usually goes to a colder temperature, and then we've got a lot of moisture in the air. The barometric pressures in the air changes significantly, and it changes really rapidly. And you'll notice that because it goes from being 37 all of a sudden to being 18 degrees. So massive temperature differences. And the pressure in the air changes, and that's also why we get rain and we get winds and those sorts of things. And we've got sensors in our face that actually detect this. And the pressure changes within our face and our sinuses and our inner ears pick this up. Now in headache and migraine sufferers, we're already very sensitive. Our body is at a very sensitive level all of the time. So when you add something in like that, it picks up this sensitivity level. And because it's happening very rapidly, it's very easy to set us off. So it doesn't like anything that happens very rapidly. So storms are really not good for headache and migraine sufferers. So in regards to this, you want to try to stay in an environment that's fairly neutral and also avoiding these very rapid changes. So for people that are susceptible to sensing storms, then you want to be staying inside as much as possible. And also often people find that not opening the windows or not opening the doors when a storm is hitting can be of some benefit as well, because you're not letting in that air, the pressure changes, and you're less vulnerable to those changes. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but you're less vulnerable. So wait until the next day when the environment has to try to open up the house, okay? The other thing that can set people off, wind, strong wind, okay? A lot of people do get set off by that. Two reasons why. One, again, your sinuses and your inner ear are picking up these dramatic changes that are happening with the pressure changes. And also when it's really windy, it can pick up things like pollen and dust and allergens that can set you off. And a lot of time headache and migraine sufferers are also suffering with other sensitivities like eczema or skin conditions that are increasing your body's sensitivity levels. So it can also flare those things up and raise your body's sensitivity level as well. So that's why wind is a problem. Then also with dramatic changes like extreme heat and cold and glare and humidity and those sorts of things, as well as the other ones that we've spoken about, It can also change your brain chemicals, including serotonin. And serotonin, as we know, can change your body's responsiveness to pain. And so when it's changing in regards to that, your body's responsiveness to pain can be lowered, and therefore you're not responding as well in regards to your headaches and migraines, and therefore be more susceptible to them as well. So, as you might have picked up, it's all about being sensitive and being more susceptible to headaches and migraines. So if we can lower our sensitivity level down, it means that we are going to be less susceptible to setting off a headache and migraine. So we want to lower our system down so that it's harder to set off a headache or migraine, because unfortunately we can't change the weather. It's going to continue to be crazy as Melbourne weather is. And so basically, if we can lower our system down to be less sensitive, it's a lot harder to set off a headache or migraine. So that hopefully if a storm hits, if it's a very windy day, if it's a very hot day, if it's a very humid day, as it has been all of those within the last week, it makes it a lot harder to set off a headache or migraine, because our body isn't as sensitive, so it takes more things to set off a headache or migraine. Come in. That's what we aim to do. We aim to lower the body's sensitivity level back down to a more normal threshold. So it takes a very big event, a lot more things, to set off a headache or migraine. So, is your body good at predicting the weather? Have you been set off by the thunderstorms, or by wind, or by heat, or by glare? What sets you off? What's your story in regards to the weather? I'd love to hear about it. And what's your story? Tell us, comment below, share your stories, and I'd love to see if I can help you. So I will be speaking to you soon and commenting below. And if you've got any questions or queries in regards to the weather, let me know and I'll be commenting soon. Thanks guys, and I hope you're surviving the weather out there. Catch you soon. Bye.